Lukas was cheating. The other woman was his intern at Caldwell. Watching them writhe on my bed felt like a blade twisting in my chest. On our 5th anniversary, he'd set up a candlelit dinner. Eyes shining. Sophie, I love you. This life and the next, there will never be anyone but you. The memory of their obscene ballet sent bile climbing my throat. My hand closed around the kitchen knife on the nightstand. Great. Then love me in your next life. I drove the blade between his ribs. He died. Later, I knelt scarlet-eyed at Riverside, begging a stone to forgive me. My father had a secret son. The mistress marched the boy to our door, sneering that mom's useless belly had only produced a girl and dad's fortune would one day belong to her kid. Mom, learning that the betrayal had lasted years, suffered a heart attack under the taunts. I reached the hospital in time for her final breath. Sophie, she rasped, squeezing my fingers, never trust a man. Then she was gone. At the funeral, Dad played the grief-stricken widower to perfection. The relatives, still in the dark, lined up to comfort him. My aunt swallowed tears and patted his shoulder. Victor, Lillian wouldn't want you falling apart. Stay strong. Right. Lillian hated watching me cry. He wiped his face and switched from bereaved to businesslike. For the first time I saw how hollow he was. If he'd loved her, how could he have chased every skirt and fathered another child? Then perform heartbreak once she was dust. I started to expose him, but my blood sugar crashed and the floor rushed up. I woke in a hospital bed with Lukas asleep in the chair. We'd met in college, married right after graduation. His parents died in a wreck when he was small. He always said I was the only family he had left. He was clutching my hand, exhausted. I tried to slip free without waking him, but his eyes flicked open. Thank God you're back. I know losing Mom is unbearable, but you have to take care of yourself. What would I do if I lost you too? He blurted. I changed the subject. How long was I out? Almost 24 hours. You scared me half to death, he sighed, stroking my hair. Lukas, would you ever cheat on me? Never, he answered before I finished. I swear on my life. Sophie, only you. Always. He was about to utter the classic curse when I covered his mouth. Okay, I believe you. Discharged. Lukas returned to Caldwell. I went back to the Vance house. Voices exploded the second I stepped inside. No, I can't marry you now. Lillian just died. Do you want the town branding me a heartless bastard? Use your head. For how long? Victor, I've stayed nameless for years. Your wife is dead, and you still want me to wait. Think of our son if you won't think of me. The woman's last words cracked with tears. Lulu, of course I'm thinking about both of you, but if we go public now the gossip guts us. Give it a little more time. Fine. 1 year. Tops. So the funeral tears had been pure theater. Mom served him 3 decades and couldn't buy one honest sob. Rage flooded me. I shoved the door so hard it bounced off the wall. The pair on the couch flinched. Dad sprang up, smoothing his shirt. Sophie, you scared me. Are you feeling better? You should be resting. Anyone would think he actually cared, yet he'd never visited the hospital. Victor, spare me the Oscar reel. And this is still my house. I can rest here just fine, I said flatly. Before he could answer, the woman piped up. A married daughter is spilled water. This isn't your home anymore. The sing-song spite made me smile coldly. Not my home. As long as he doesn't put a ring on you, you're just the mistress nobody's supposed to see. Bullseye. Her face darkened and she leapt up. Didn't your mother teach you manners? Did yours teach you to poach husbands? I shot back. She lunged, swinging. I caught her wrist and slapped her hard enough to snap her head. She collapsed on the couch, whimpering. Victor, you'll let her hit me? Pathetic. Apart from being younger, she had nothing on Mom. Dad finally spoke. Go home. I need to talk to my daughter. She obeyed, tossing me a venomous glance on her way out. Silence settled. Dad lit a cigarette. Sophie, your mother and I stopped being husband and wife long ago. We were roommates at best, so that excuses sneaking around and stalking a spare nursery. You knew her heart was fragile. Did it ever occur to you the shock might kill her? My voice shook. Rising, he exhaled smoke. Utterly calm. When we married, I loved her. After you were born, she let herself go. Baggy sweats. 20 extra pounds. Wrinkles multiplying. I couldn't pretend I was attracted. Disgust twisted his mouth. You soulless leech. She poured her life into this family and you dare whine about stretch marks? Tears scorched my throat. He shrugged. Men want youth and curves. Always have. Always will. Your pretty rich husband is no different. He's not limited to one bed. He is different. Lukas had sworn. For years of marriage and no kid, my guess is he's already planted one somewhere. The word stabbed where the doctors said I was barren. I'd swallowed gallons of herbal potions. Nothing took. I spun away, deaf to whatever justification he muttered next. I drifted home, curled on the sofa like a broken doll. I couldn't give Lukas an heir. Might never manage it. The sterling line ended with him. Once, racked with guilt, I'd offered divorce so he could find a fertile wife. He'd gone stone-faced, cupped my cheeks and said, "Sophie, you are not a broodmare. I married you because I love you. I can live without children. I can't live without you. Promise me you'll never speak that way again." I hadn't until now. Maybe he wanted a baby so badly he'd taken my father's route. Mom's dying warning echoed. Once suspicion sprouted, it grew teeth. That night, while Lukas showered, I cracked. His passcode was my birthday. I opened WhatsApp. Top of the list, wife. I scrolled every thread. Dead normal office chatter. The contact list was 90% men, most without emojis. Only then did my lungs remember how to breathe. I slid the phone back onto the nightstand moments before the bathroom door opened. Fortunately, he hadn't noticed. The next morning, Quiet left for Caldwell early. I was woken by the phone, still half asleep. I fumbled for it and answered. My best friend's sobs poured out. I was instantly awake. "Sophie, Mark. I never dreamed he was that kind of guy." Chloe broke down again. "Chloe, stop crying. I'll be right over." Luckily she lived only half an hour away. When the door opened, her eyes were swollen red, as if she'd cried all night. She's always been the upbeat, love it or leave it type. In the 15 years I've known her, I'd never seen her like this. We sat on the couch and she took a long time before she could speak. "This morning I was tidying the bedroom and found a second phone in the closet. No passcode, so I opened WhatsApp out of habit. It was nothing but women. Their usernames left nothing to the imagination. It's Mark's secret account. Sophie. The chats were insane. Filthy words, naked photos, everything. By now the tears had stopped. Her eyes looked numb. Mark, of all people. I always thought he was simple and honest. Turns out he was living a double life behind my back. I'm divorcing him. I can't spend one more night under the same roof. Divorce him? Absolutely. I wasn't going to let her follow Mom's path. A marriage like that should end fast. With the chat logs as proof, the judge ruled that Mark's morals would corrupt the kids. So custody and the house went to Chloe. Mark walked away with nothing. I watched the smile she hadn't worn in ages finally return, and I was happy for her. Yet I began sleeping badly myself, terrified the same thing would happen to me. Men, after all, are born actors. Devotion is just another role. Every evening when Quiet came home, I asked to see his phone. Each time he handed it over with a smile. Nothing suspicious jumping out. But did he have a second handset? A secret WhatsApp? That night he got back around 10. The moment he stepped inside, I blurted, "You only carry one phone, right? You don't have a backup?" He looked startled, hesitated, then said, "I do keep a spare. Let me see it. It's at Caldwell." Another inspection. "Honey," he grinned. "Where exactly?" "Give me your office key. I'll go now. It's late. Tomorrow, okay?" I gave a sour laugh, trying to stop me. "Afraid I'll find something you can't explain?" The smile drained from his face. "Sophie, can you quit this? Am I really that untrustworthy?" Exasperation outweighed anger. He turned and went upstairs. I stood frozen in the foyer for a long time. When I slipped into the bedroom later, he was already asleep. I lay down carefully on my side. A moment later, an arm circled my waist. "Honey, believe me, please. I've never done anything to hurt you." His voice carried a soft hurt. I said nothing. Soon his breathing evened into a gentle snore, while I stayed awake until dawn. I think I've stopped believing in love. No one resists temptation. Victor couldn't. Mark couldn't. And neither will Quiet. Next morning I still rode with him to Caldwell. The instant we reached his office, he grabbed the spare phone and passed it over. No password. I combed through it. One WhatsApp, a handful of contacts. All looked like clients. Yet my doubts didn't shrink one bit. I merely decided Quiet was hiding things better. Several coworkers drifted over. One guy teased, "Whoa, the missus came all the way to Caldwell for a spot check." Deeps totally whipped. Guys, laughter rippled around the floor. Quiet stayed deadpan. Shot him a look. "So bored you're begging for extra assignments?" The man killed the grin at once. Kidding. Crazy busy here," and scurried back to his desk. That was when I noticed the blonde. She sat alone, looking annoyed, sneaking glances my way. Heavy makeup, but young, objectively pretty. Everyone else had come over. Only she stayed put. My gut said she didn't like me. "Quiet. Who's she?" He followed my gaze. Surprised. "Oh, new intern at Caldwell." A year slipped by like that. Dad married Lily and mailed me an invitation. I tossed it after the things he said when Mom died. Dad was dead to me. Wishing him happiness was out of the question. I still hadn't dug up proof of an affair, yet I'd wasted away to skin and bones. The girl who once had baby fat cheeks, now sallow, dull skin. Most days I sat at Riverside, Mom's grave, whispering to the stone. Quiet dragged me to a therapist. Family isn't allowed in. He waited outside. The doctor looked about my age. "What's troubling you?" she asked straight off. My husband's cheating, but I can't find evidence. He's too good at hiding it. Surprise flickered in her eyes. Without proof. Why assume he is? Does any cat refuse fish? Men are all the same. After a brief pause, she asked me to leave. Back home, Quiet announced a vacation. Honey, the doctor says you're wired too tight. You need to decompress. We haven't traveled in ages. Let's head south tomorrow. Fine. When? Tomorrow morning. We packed through the night. Next day, bags at the door. His phone rang. He looked apologetic. Babe, Caldwell just landed a VIP client. They need me. No big deal. I'll head down first. Join me when you're free. I'll have Jay drive you. Sure. He dashed back to Caldwell. Jay is Quiet's personal assistant. We barely speak. The ride was silent until I asked, what client popped up so suddenly? Quiet is their closer, so big accounts often land on him, but never this last minute. Sophie, I'm just gopher level. I run errands for Quiet, don't know much. A bad hunch clawed at me. He was lying. I faked hunger. Had Jay pull over at a roadside diner. When he wasn't looking, I dropped sleeping pills into his water. Once he slumped asleep, I fished the car keys from his pocket. My mind raced the whole drive back. Images of Quiet tangled with another woman. The more I pictured it, the fiercer my migraine throbbed. I floored the accelerator. Night had fallen when I reached home, heart hammering. I stepped inside, lights off, apparently empty, yet every instinct screamed. I kicked off my heels and climbed the stairs. Halfway up, the bed began to creak. My feet turned to lead. I couldn't move. Then came the mingled gasps of a man and woman. Ice flooded my veins. I forced myself upward. That short flight took 10 minutes. The bedroom door stood ajar. Quiet never expected me back, so the client had been bait to ship me off so he could sin in broad, well, moonlit to daylight. I pushed the door a finger's width. Inside, two naked bodies writhed. The blonde intern lay on top of him, cooing, deep. What if wifey bursts in? No chance. Jay's babysitting her. No one's interrupting us. He sealed her words with a kiss. She flipped her hair, and I saw her face. Caldwell's intern. Now I understood the hostility in her stares. So I was her rival all along. I had to admit, she had an amazing body, young but already alluring and sexy. Turns out this is exactly the type Marcus likes. Babe, Sophie's acting completely unhinged these days, and I haven't slipped up once. But her paranoia is driving me insane. So this is what he really thinks of me. Then again, he's not wrong. Lately, I'm basically a basket case. Mark, when are you going to divorce her? I'm pregnant. What? You're pregnant. For real. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Could what we did today hurt the baby? I'm healthy. It's fine. My girl's amazing. Not like Sophie, an infertile hen. The woman blushed and buried her head in Marcus's chest. Hearing every word, I collapsed onto the floor, legs giving out. It felt as if a kitchen knife were twisting straight through my heart. Still, I didn't have the guts to kick the door in and catch the two cheaters red-handed. A long while later, I finally stood on trembling legs and went to Chloe's apartment. She yelped the moment the door opened. My hair was a rat's nest and my face looked like hell. Sophie, what on earth happened? She helped me to the couch. Chloe, Marcus had also, I couldn't finish, but she guessed. He cheated? Right here at home, in our bed. It's that intern from Caldwell. Just graduated, and she's already pregnant. Chloe's jaw dropped. Holy crap, that's disgusting. What are you going to do? Divorce the bastard? I don't know. Everything's a mess. Tears welled up again as I spoke. I've never been tough. I sobbed on Chloe's shoulder. Why do this to me? After Mom died, Marcus was the only person I had left. How can he be so cruel? When the tears finally dried, my phone buzzed. Call display, husband. I answered without expression. Marcus sounded frantic. Sweetheart. Jay said he woke up and the car keys, and you were gone. What happened? Nothing. Chloe needed me. Jay was asleep, so I didn't wake him. Walked home. God, you scared me half to death. I thought something happened. If I hadn't seen and heard it myself, I'd really buy his worry. He probably wishes something had. I swallowed the pain and answered as calmly as I could. I'm fine. I'm staying over tonight. Good. Bye. I hung up before he could reply. Sophie, tomorrow we march into Caldwell to confront that little witch, barely legal and already a homewrecker. I hesitated, then nodded. Chloe took out a powder blue sundress. Look here, you were class queen in high school. A woman has to love herself at every age. At almost 30, am I really still the right age for this dress? Seeing my haggard reflection, I laughed bitterly. Of course you are. A dab of makeup and you'll outshine that little tramp. After Chloe worked her magic, I looked brand new. See, stunning. That bone structure doesn't lie. All I gave you was a light touch-up. She was right. polished but lifeless. We arrived at Marcus's Caldwell office and immediately spotted yesterday's bedmate. Maybe it was the bleach blonde hair or that unfairly pretty face. Sophie, which one is the fox? I stayed silent, staring. Chloe traced my gaze. That one, with the pound of makeup. Marcus's taste is slipping. After trash talking, she dragged me over. You the tramp who seduced Marcus? No time for an answer. She splashed a full glass of water across the girl's face. Psycho. Security. Who let this nut in? The girl sprang up, dabbing her face, swearing a blue streak. She didn't notice me until I pressed her hand flat against the tissue box. Mrs. Sterling. Finally she looked scared. I leaned to her ear. What are you afraid of? You're carrying his baby, pushing him to divorce me. Shouldn't you feel like the new queen? I slipped her a scrap of paper. Here's my WhatsApp, add me. Crowds of coworkers were gathering, so we walked away while we still could. Sophie, that's it. We should expose her to the entire Caldwell building. Chloe was fuming on my behalf. With half the office watching, I can hardly breathe. I already feel humiliated. They should be humiliated, not you. She gazed at me, heartbroken. Back home, Marcus still asleep, probably exhausted from the night before. A message pinged. Love Mark requested contact. I accepted. What should I call you? Riley. How long have you two been together? A year. The screen blurred beneath my stare. So he took up with her right after mom died. Who started it? Marcus chased me. He said I'm young, hot, considerate. With me he finally relaxes. No pressure like there is with you. I could almost hear her smug laugh. Turns out life with me was suffocating him. He also says you're completely dull, like a dead fish. Never even try. I'll sign the divorce papers soon. The moment I sent it I blocked her, and everything I wasn't ready to read. I had misjudged that man. I remembered our wedding vows. Sophie, marrying you is the luckiest thing that's ever happened to me. No matter what storms come, I'll never let go of your hand. How naive I was to believe he'd cherish me forever. I'd thought he liked my gentle, dutiful ways. In truth, he's the same as every other guy, drawn to wild, reckless women who play dirty. Sweetheart, you're back. Marcus's voice jolted me from memory. He hugged me from behind. Our 5th anniversary's coming up. I wanted to give you something special, but that client is huge for Caldwell and I'm swamped. Still, no matter how hectic things get, I'll spend that night with you. No trips, just us at home. Guilt oozed from every syllable. I almost felt touched, if I didn't know what I know. The man's juggling Riley and our anniversary. I made up my mind. Celebrate, then serve him papers. Call it selfish, but I wanted one last anniversary, even if the love is long gone. Anniversary night, Marcus kept his promise and came home early. I had the divorce agreement waiting. He'd prepared a perfect candlelit dinner and a towering violet bouquet. I once read that violets stand for everlasting love. Nothing lasts forever, love withers. A hammering headache slammed me. I'd barely slept in eons, and lately even sleeping pills had quit working. Sophie, I love you. In this life and the next. I belong only to you. His eyes brimmed with what looked like devotion. Devotion. After cheating, hearing that made me sick. I pictured him tangled with Riley, heard every complaint. I grabbed the kitchen knife and drove it toward his heart. In that case, love me in your next life. After that it's blank. When my eyes opened I was in an unfamiliar room. Vance, you're awake. A figure stood in the doorway, the therapist. Quinn, where? Quiet. You've been out for a week. It's quiet here. A change of scenery can change the way you feel. Something flashed through my mind and I grabbed her arm. Where's Sterling? I remember. I think I stabbed him with a kitchen knife. She smiled at me. You were dreaming. A dream, but it had felt so real. These are the divorce papers Sterling signed. She held out a few sheets of paper. They were real. His looping signature on every line. Sterling gave me money to bring you to quiet. He said he'd wronged you and wanted you to start over here. Then he turned and walked away. Yet her face looked haunted, almost sad. Maybe I was imagining things. I'd only just woken up. Back home, Sterling was probably happy with Riley by now. Soon there'd be the 3 of them. A perfect little family. Shipping me off was just his way of making sure I wouldn't get in the way. Sterling, I'll live my life here. In a world without you, I whispered to myself. 3 years in quiet. I met plenty of people. Turns out I could survive just fine without him. Men asked me out, but I didn't need any of them. Sterling was the only man I'd ever loved. Anyone else would be second best. A marriage without love is pointless. And I don't believe any man can love one woman forever. From now on I just want to live alone. Life works without a man. For 3 years I didn't contact anyone back home. My moods leveled out. I thought I'd finally crawled out of that emotional grave. But I haven't visited mom. And I miss Chloe. In my rush to forget everything Chinese, I'd even cut her off. Now that the pain has dulled, I want to go home. I found Quinn and told her, no, you can't go back. Panic flickered across her face, like she was hiding something. Are you afraid I'll ruin Sterling's new life? Don't worry, I'm over him. This isn't about him. I assumed his money explained her refusal. You really want to leave? He sighed. Yes. All right, I'll come with you. Back on native soil, I went straight to Riverside. 3 seasons of dust covered Mom's marker. I wiped it clean and talked to her for a while. Next I headed to Chloe's place, wondering how those 3 years had treated her. I stood at the familiar door, too scared to knock, scared she'd hate me for vanishing. While I hesitated, the door flew open. Chloe froze, then hugged me hard. Sophie, where have you been? 3 years. No calls. Nothing. Inside, I told her everything. You're saying Sterling had that doctor ship you to quiet and didn't go himself? Right. He signed the papers. Probably living the dream with Riley. I went to your old house tons of times. Nobody was ever home. Sterling wasn't there? Nope. Even though I'd moved on. A thin blade of dread sliced through me. I speed dialed Quinn. Quinn, do you know where Sterling went? A long silence. Then he's dead. Dead. Quit joking. He was fine. I didn't want to believe her. But Quinn doesn't lie. My heart cramped with a pain I hadn't felt in years. Where are you? I'm coming. My fingers shook as I texted her the pin. Chloe, please tell me this is a sick joke. He was healthy. How could he be gone? I'd hated him for betraying me, but I never wished him dead. The deeper the hate, the deeper the love had been. Sophie, breathe. When Quinn gets here we'll sort it out, Chloe said, helpless. While I waited, I begged time to race, so she'd arrive and laugh and say it was all a lie. That Sterling had simply moved to another city and was fine. Yet I also begged time to crawl, because if she said it to my face, it would be true. I'm not God. The minutes ticked by however they pleased. 20 knocks later, Chloe opened the door. He saw me trembling on the couch. Sophie, are you all right? I forced the words out. Quinn, Sterling's okay. Right. You're kidding, aren't you? I prayed for one word. Yes. It never came. He's dead. You killed him. You have severe schizophrenia. During episodes you can't tell reality from delusion. Sterling never cheated. The affair existed only in your mind. On your anniversary you relapsed. You grabbed the kitchen knife and drove it into his heart, then collapsed. Each syllable hit like lightning. All this time I thought it was only depression. No way. I saw the other woman with my own eyes. Chloe cut in. I yanked my phone, unblocked Riley, and typed, did you and Sterling ever happen? A long reply popped up. Sorry, Sterling. I only ever had a crush on him. You randomly decided I was sleeping with him, so I rolled with it, hoping you'd divorce him and I'd get my shot. It was all lies. I quit Caldwell ages ago, met a man who loves me, and I wish you both happiness. I stared until the letters blurred. So nothing ever happened in our bedroom? My brain had staged the whole thing. He spoke again. Don't believe me? Check the security footage. I've had your house cleaned. Everything should be intact. Sterling and I went to high school together. When I explained your illness, I urged him to commit you. During episodes you hurt either yourself or him. He refused, said he wouldn't make you feel like a burden. Instead, he installed cameras in every room so he could keep you safe. On your 5th anniversary, the illness surged. You seized the kitchen knife, slammed it into his chest, and passed out. He called me, stayed alive until I arrived, handed me the signed divorce papers and every dollar he had, and begged me to take you to quiet. He made me swear you'd never learn the truth. He wanted you to think he'd been a heartless bastard, but I was selfish. I thought you should know what he did for you. Then he wiped his prints off the knife, arranged the scene to look like suicide, and died. He loved you that much. By the end his voice cracked. Every word carved another wound. The room blurred. I deflated, drifted toward the door. Neither Quinn nor Chloe tried to stop me. They simply followed. I stepped into the house I hadn't seen in 3 years. Not a speck of dust. I pulled up the footage from that night. There I was, alone, raving, lunging at empty air. The sick never believe they're sick. They swear what they see is real. Later Quinn drove me to Sterling's Riverside. I stared at the black and white photo and dropped to my knees. Quinn, go. I need a minute. Okay. When I was sure I was alone, I screamed until my throat bled. When the tears ran dry I whispered, Sterling, you idiot. You should have locked me in a hospital. You should have told me I was broken. I don't blame Riley. I blame myself for not trusting you. If there's a next life, let's never meet. I fished the bottle of sleeping pills from my purse and swallowed every tablet. This life is beyond repair. May the next one keep us apart.